Hello, hello. What's going on? How is everyone doing on this fine day? What's going on? Who's been doing meditation? Straight up, who did it? Or who didn't do it? Like, just admit it. If you didn't do it and you failed, if you just failed in your goals, just embrace that. Just admit it. Just admit that you failed to meet your goal. Just admit that you said you were going to do something and you didn't. That's okay. It's all right. I said I was going to meditate for an hour yesterday. Yeah. Turns out I did it. But you know what? If I didn't do it, suppose that I didn't do it. You know what? I would then have to just accept the reality that I made a goal and didn't achieve it. That shit happens. You know what I mean? I've done shit like that before. I really have, like many, many, many times. I've not achieved my goals, or I've thought I could do something and I didn't, or I planned to make something happen and it didn't. And I just had to admit, fuck, I didn't follow through with that, or I was like thinking I should really work hard at something and turns out I ran out of energy and couldn't. You know, or whatever. You make mistakes and shit. But the point is that just accept it. And today you can make another goal. Today you can make another goal of like, hey, actually today I'm going to start meditating. It's actually today I'm going to do it. And then you commit to that goal. And you do it, you know? And even if you were to fail again today, even if you committed to doing it today, but you still feel the fucking feeling of failing, right? Like if you failed to do your meditation even again today, then your goal becomes, okay, now I just feel the pain of letting myself down, right? And so that's then what your goal would become. And each time you make a goal, each time you commit yourself to whatever it is, in this case, meditation, you either follow through with that goal and you feel the feeling of, oh, hey, I actually did that. That's cool. Or you feel the feeling of, oh, I made a goal and then I didn't do it. And you feel that. So either way, you're winning. This is how you begin to build up some like personal trust, some personal integrity, and you can start to do it. And this is what I'm always talking about, where this kind of thing is what, say, 80% of people, they never do that. Like, they never, ever do it. So funny. Like, they never do it. I compare it to someone who's like, well, I really love hockey. Like, it just, I know all the tactics, I know all the strategies, I know all the players. Like, I really, really just, I love hockey, and I've been really learning a lot about it. And like, I just know I'll be a great player. Like, I know I can shoot. Like, yeah, I can't wait to be the best player ever. There's just, the only thing is, I can't skate. Yeah, I can't skate. I've never skated before. But I'm going to be a great hockey player, though. I'm going to be the best. I know all about it. I know all the words. I know all the tactics. I just have never skated before. And that's like most people. That's how they are. They're like, yeah, I know I'm going to be successful. Like, I know I could meditate. I know I could. I know I could work out easily. I know I could get a hot girlfriend. I know I could get married. I know I could get a cool guy to marry me. Yeah. What's up, Susanna? How you doing, girl? Nice. Thanks for joining. So that's how most people operate. They always assume that they could achieve something, but they never ever actually try, right? They think it's going to be magical. They think it's going to be a fantasy. They think it's going to be a fairy tale. And the reality is not like that, right? As if you've ever watched Jared Grossman, he actually at one point did, I think, 365 YouTube videos. I think he did one every day for a year. I'm pretty sure. This was a few years ago. And he was kind of like a inspirational guy. Man, he had some good videos. And anyway, one of his, he talked about how people think it's going to be a crystal staircase. They think their life is a crystal staircase. And it's something that they just have to kind of look at. And they're always looking at their life. They're always looking at it like, wow, look at that perfect thing. I don't want to mess it up. And what he says is, you have to understand, it is a crystal staircase. It is perfect. But you're the one who has to climb up it. And in order to climb up it, you're going to need to strap on these fucking boots with mud and fucking spikes on them. And you're going to have to claw your way up. Claw your way up this crystal staircase, man. And crack it and make it filthy and scratched and dirty in order for you to get up there. And the longer you think that it's going to be like this magical, special thing, you're just missing out. You're not even getting started, right? And that's the same as people think they're going to be a great hockey player, or they know all about hockey, but they've never skated before. And that's the brutal reality of things, is the bar is, as I've said before, the bar is so low. And the severity of it all is so devastating that people just can't come to grips with it, right? That guy who says he's going to be a great hockey player, that guy who says he can win any fight or he can get any girl or whatever, he's so far into his own delusion that any glimpse of what it would really take shatters his illusion and he can't take it. So he keeps investing more in the illusion, right? That's what happens. That's what people do. They keep doubling down on the lies, right? They double down on the fantasy because they're so bought in with that fantasy that whenever there's a crack, it exposes the vast fucking gap. There's just a chasm of space between what they think and what is reality. That's where you get these guys who, it's like, you know, and for girls too, who the girls think like, no, like, I'm really gonna, like, the guy's gonna marry me. Like, he is gonna marry me. And you're like, he's not. Like, he's just not gonna do it. He doesn't want to. No, he will. He will. I can convince him. I can make him. That's not a good way to do it. Like, that's not gonna work. Yes, it will. And it's the same like with the guys. Like, you get like a guy who's a dopey dude and he's got a hot girlfriend, and you're like, dude, she's cheating on you, man, with the fucking bouncer. She's cheating on you with the drug dealer. Like, that's what's happening. He's like, no, she isn't. And you're like, dude, yes, man, she is. Like, that's what's happening. You know, so you need to accept that. Dudes like glimpse it for a minute, and they're like, what? No, she wouldn't do that. No, she wouldn't do that. And it's like, it's terrifying, but it's true. Like, you need to accept that this is how it works. And until you start to buy in with these ideas, you're always going to be on the outside, right? You're always going to be left out of the party because nobody really values the fantasy, right? You think they do. You think people buy your fantasy. You think that people are buying in to the lie that you're selling them. But no one really cares. It's just you stuck with the lie, right? It's just you stuck with the fantasy. And you have to support it. And you have to constantly feed the lie. And it ends up owning you, right? Like as Tyler Durden in Fight Club says, the things we own, they end up owning us, right? So those lies that you built, those fantasies and those ideas that you built up in your head, they end up running you, man. They end up owning you. And until you let them go, you're always going to be a slave to them. And why do you want to live your life as a slave? You have the opportunity to be free. So you need to be free. It is your birthright, but the whole system's set up to enslave you. Enslave your mind, right? Enslave your soul, enslave your spirit. Even enslave you to some degree physically with debt and bullshit and shitty food and shitty ways of thinking and everything. And your job is to come free, to embrace your birthright, which is freedom, which is the right to do as you please, regardless of what the fuck anyone else thinks. As long as you're abiding by like some specific laws and you're not like trying to hurt people, you don't have to listen to any of the shit that people say to you. It's fucking pointless. It's worthless. It's like the opinion. Oh my god! But I should really say this. I really do have to say it again. It needs to be reiterated. It needs to be retold as many times as possible. The opinions of the other people that you're worried about, the opinions of what this person might think and what that person might think, truly, honestly, truly, it's worthless. It's nothing. Nothing. It's worth nothing. It would even sometimes be nice if it was worth something. Sometimes you can even be like, wow, that would be nice. I think like that. Sometimes I'm like, someone thinks I'm really cool. Like I meet some girl and she's like, wow, you're so cool. You're so smart. You're so funny. Sometimes I'm like, oh, wow, that would be cool. That would be cool if I could just like, if you could just say that and then I would just like take validation from that. That might be nice. But I know it doesn't make any difference because the next girl will then say, you're fucking stupid and weird and gross and you. And it's like, okay, well, opinions vary. Like, it's nothing. It always has to be nothing. Not a thing. Fucking worthless. Not good or bad. It doesn't matter how many people tell you you're fucking so great. It's just like a mosquito flew by. Just doesn't mean anything. So then the same when they tell you how fucking stupid you are and you're so dumb and blah blah blah. It's the same. It's just like there goes a mosquito. It's fucking worthless. And I just produce all the feelings, all the thoughts, all the validation from within. Now I'm free. Right? And you understand that other people don't have enough energy to keep it up. Right? Like they'll lose attention. A few minutes they'll be like, fuck you, you're dumb, and then they'll be on to something else, right? They can't keep the attention. It's like when Julian had his media scandal, hashtag the most hated man in the world, and everyone hated him, and oh my god. I remember he said after that, he was like disturbed by it because it was so major. But he said like 2 months later, 3 months later max, nobody remembered it. Nobody. Like they just forgot right away. Just immediately forgot. Next. Something else, other gossip, other attention, other outrage. So what happens? It's like people just lose track right away. They won't remember. So you really want to buy into the idea that the opinions of other people are just nothing. It's nothing. And a lot of people spend their whole lives trying to gain favorable opinion by others. They really do. They really do. They try to get validation off people. They try to get themselves into little social circumstances or little hierarchy games of like I'm here in like in position of that person, I'm higher, so now I feel good. What the fuck? That's so weak and stupid. But look, then you're going to be lower in relation to someone else. And it's like, I'm not saying there isn't some truth to like, if you're a yellow belt and someone else is a black belt, yeah, they're more experienced than you and you should try to learn from them, right? And at the same time, if you're a yellow belt and there's a white belt, you're more experienced than them, so you should try to help them. But it's not that like one is like somehow like inherently like you don't get some little high of validation from being a yellow belt and they're only a white belt because you know that there's a black belt. And even the black belt knows there's a second degree black belt and so on and so forth. So you're never like getting validation from it. You're always just like acknowledging it like, oh, okay, cool. Yeah, that's great. It's like Bill Gates has like hundreds of millions of dollars. He's like, oh, cool. And then there's someone else who has billion. I meant billion. And then there's someone else who kind of has $1 trillion. And he's just like, oh, cool. Yeah. It's like he doesn't need to play a game of like, oh, I wish I had $1 trillion. Why though? For what purpose? Like, how is that benefiting anything? It's just you saying, I wish I had $1 trillion. That doesn't help anyone, right? It's like, why not just be like, oh, cool, I have $100 billion. There's no need to look for $1 trillion, right? And so that's why, like, some people have never ever heard this way of thinking. It's so fucked. So fucked. Like, I meet people sometimes, it's like they've never even conceived of the idea of like creating like core confidence. Like, they've never heard the idea of like, you mean I don't have to be mean to people? Like, what? Like, what are you talking about? Like, they don't even understand that's possible, but that's just how they've operated their whole life. Like, you mean I don't have to drink every weekend? I don't have to do coke regularly? Like, I don't understand. Like, I don't have to watch fucking sports 10 hours a day? Like, I don't have to watch mainstream television? Like, it's so weird to people. It's so confusing. But it takes time, but you can disconnect yourself from that matrix, from that way of thinking. You really can. And eventually you'll realize it's the only thing you can do. It's your only option. Like, you either stay in the matrix as a zombie, you eventually die and come back as a zombie again, and maybe next time you'll get free, or you just free yourself now. You just start disconnecting now. And that's what you should be doing. Like, holy shit. Like, it's the only thing you can do. And I'm not saying it's going to be easy. I'm not saying you won't make mistakes. Like, I make fucking mistakes all the time. Like, I'm always doing shit like, oh, fuck, I should have left an hour ago, or I should have stayed an extra hour, or fuck, or I wonder if I should have said this instead of that. Like, I'm always facing those too. But on top of that, I'm always like trying to embrace, like, well, how exactly can I just embrace this more so? Like, okay, good. Maybe I did fucking spill some milk. Maybe I did spill this glass of milk, right? I spilled a glass of milk. It's like, okay, cool. Good. Maybe that was stupid. Okay. Great. What else? It's like, how long can that create stimulus for me? Like, fuck you, idiot. I'm so stupid. I spilled milk and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, okay. Well, maybe that was a mistake, or it's possible, but it happened, and here I am. How is this experience right now for me? And eventually that will pass. And you can just carry on to something different. Be like, okay, cool. That was milk that I spilled. Now the sun's out. Now it's raining. Cool. Right? And so you can always gather your own references from within. And so then if someone's like, if someone's very like vicious to you, and they're very like mean to you, even in a way where you're like, wow, that was totally like uncalled for. Clearly that was not really necessary. You can then just be like, oh, okay, cool. Like, wow, that was a bit much. Like, maybe there is some way that I can improve myself a little bit. What's up, Agent Q, brother? How you doing, man? So it's true that the more that we engage with our own personal experience, like with our own personal emotions and our feelings, what's up, brother? We can feel better about what we're actually doing moment to moment, and we don't have to constantly be a slave to just other people's opinions of us. And we can come to understand, hey, I didn't necessarily need to buy in to what a person has to say about me. If they want to say I'm very cool and I'm awesome, that's okay. If they want to say I'm fucking stupid and my beard is dumb, okay. It's like, it's fine either way, because you have to live with that, right? Like, they have to live with that. Like, if we make plans and at the last minute you flake for no real reason, you have to live with that, right? Like, that's you who behaved like that. You built those patterns up like that. I'm doing the right thing, so I keep growing in the right direction. And as you behave in ways that don't build your own personal integrity, it erodes the value of the character that you have. And you have to live with that. You're not getting away with anything. Why do people keep thinking they can get away with something? People live their whole lives trying to get away with shit. What the fuck are you trying to get away with? Like, oh, I stole that. Oh, yeah, I got away with that. Yeah, I snuck in, or I snuck away. Why are you trying to do that? Stop trying to sneak away with shit. Own what the fuck you're doing. Embrace it. engage with what's the deeper level of truth within yourself and keep doing that. You don't need to stop. Yeah, man, it's just normalized. People love to try to get away with shit. Like, you're only hurting yourself. Ugh. Like, you like getting a filthy little high. You getting a filthy little high. Yeah, you can't hide from yourself. Like, people are constantly trying to constantly trying to hide from their own opinion of themselves, I guess. It's like, why are you trying to hide from yourself? Accept who you are. Stop hiding. Keep accepting it and understand that when you get a little high off something, when you're like, oh, look at Johnny. He's a fucking idiot. Look at Johnny in his stupid fucking shirt. Fuck him. Da da da. You're not hurting Johnny. Because if Johnny's smart, he realizes your opinion has no value. You're hurting yourself. Right? Like, yeah. Yeah, of course. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. It's part of the journey for sure, man. I'm completely not fucking a magical fucking Zen master. Like, I spent so many. Yeah. Self-awareness is fucking where it's at, man. And that's part of the fun. It's like, even me, when I catch myself being like, oh, look how cool I look in comparison to that fucking homeless guy. It's like, oh, wow, look at that. Look what just happened there. I tried to prop myself up in relation to this homeless guy. That's kind of funny. Look how funny that is. Look at the interesting sort of aspect of my personality. I'm so fucking funny that I try to prop myself up against some fucking homeless guy. I said, yeah, I'm not a Zen master, but I may be, in fact. But it's like the point is that like the point is that like even if I was a Zen master, the entire point is that we all are Zen masters in our own way, you know, and like it wouldn't matter either way. Like, even like a Zen master still does dumb shit. Like, the Zen master still himself, like the most masterful Zen guy ever to live, he was still probably sitting around being like, yeah, I am a fucking Zen master compared to these other idiots. And he would then have to catch himself and be like, holy shit, look how funny I am. I try to prop myself up playing this little Zen master game. Like, we're all just human beings and we're all just like playing these games. Yeah, of course, man. Yeah, right. Like, if you were so perfect, might as well have come to life as a gust of wind. Boom. There's some true shit right there. If you were so fucking perfect and such a magical Zen person, you wouldn't have even bothered to manifest as a human being. I would not have bothered to come to life as Luke with this fucking beard looking like Brad Pitt over here. I'd have just fired up as a fucking star or as some dust or as the wind, right? But since my character was such that it was a bit fucked up and it was a bit crazy and I would come here and spew this fucking Zen shit, it was worth the universe's time to manifest me as this fucking human. Thanks, man. Yeah. Yeah, dude. Yeah. It's a cool idea, right? Like, you've come to life as this person, and that's why it's so funny. And that's why it's like, even sometimes people sometimes say like, yeah, that's why I always say that about like Brad Pitt or, oh, you're so funny, because people say that kind of shit. And it's like, well, that's fine if these particular little things, like, yes, maybe I'm kind of funny, yes, maybe I look a certain way, that's fine. But it's only that way because of everything else, right? It's only that way because of all the other shit. That's what makes it so funny. If I just walked around all day being like, my name's Luke and I'm so funny and look at me, I'm fucking have a beard and I'm so cool, I look like fucking Will Smith, I look like Brad Pitt, blah, 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 right? And I was just on about that. People would get sick of it. They'd be like, you're a fucking idiot, man, grow up. But it's funny because I approach it in a way where it's all just such a joke anyway. Yeah, man. Yeah, dude. It's the special part, right? You got to be able to have it as a joke. Like, even Brad Pitt himself walking around on Will Smith. Yeah, man. That's the one I throw in all the time. I've been throwing that in lately. Like if I'm talking to girls, especially if it's like a black girl or something, I'll be like, yeah, I look a lot like Tom Cruise. I look a lot like Brad Pitt. I also look a lot, like Denzel Washington. Like I got mistaken for Will Smith a lot. Like people always ask me, like, hey man, where's Jada? Where's Jada Pinkett? I'm like, she's at home with the kids. Like I talk a lot of shit. Like I talk a lot of bullshit like that. So it's funny because why not, right? It's almost like taking like another even like deeper level jab. I guess you could almost say at like racial shit too. It's almost like it's so fucking hilarious. Like who cares? Like yeah, Will Smith is cool. I'm fucking cool. Brad Pitt's cool. Denzel Washington's cool. Who gives a shit? I'm not sitting around trying to like pinpoint like exactly what kind of I'm not trying to be put into some little pigeonhole like Luke's this kind of guy, Luke's that kind of guy. It's like motherfucker, I'm whatever kind of person I want to be. Like I'm not trying to. And plus, then it reaches a, yeah, love it. That's a twist that they are not ready to. Yeah, exactly. That's the point, right? That's the point. Is then they think it's cool. It's like, yeah, they're not ready for it. Exactly. And it's like that's the whole point. Is I'm able to reach a broader audience. I'm like, hey guys, I'm not exclusive to the girls that like Brad Pitt. I'm also open to girls who like Denzel Washington. I'm not any. Who's to say Denzel Washington is cooler than I am? I don't know. He seems cool, but I seem pretty cool too. Like we're all the same, and then they're like, "Oh, really? You are cool," and blah blah blah. Right? All part of the bullshit, all part of the game. But until you're able to, until you're able to buy into these like deeper level fundamental truths, you're not going to be able to get away with saying that shit. We do need some good energy, man. Yeah, dude, of course. And that's why I'm producing that type of energy, in my opinion, just for the fucking sake of it. Right? You see how it's just for the sake of it. It's not all that important to me whether those girls are like realistically, oh wow, you are really cool just like Will Smith. We should definitely hang out sometime. If they want to say that, that's cool. That's fine. I'll do that. And I should be rewarded by the universe for producing that kind of valuable energy that I'm doing. But I'm not all that attached to the outcome. If I produce that like, hey, I look like Will Smith or whatever, Brad Pitt, and they hear that and they're like, oh hey, that is kind of funny, but whatever, I have to go. I'm like, that's fine too. It makes no difference, right? It's fucking irrelevant because I'm saying that shit because it entertains me. Because I think it's hilarious, and luckily Agent Q thinks it's hilarious, and some of the girls think it's hilarious, and people do. So I'm saying it for them, right? And for me, I'm saying it for me, but also because it's hilarious, it's funny. I'm doing it for a fucking laugh, and hopefully over time, good energy attracts the same. Yeah, definitely, 100%. That is true, man, and that's also why if people respond to like really positive energy. Like if I'm talking like this and it's hilarious and it's cool and it's funny and someone has a really negative reaction, if they out of nowhere are just like, ew, like you're so stupid, like you don't look like black, like Will Smith is black and you're white, like fuck you and stuff. If someone has that kind of energy in response, it's like I just right away know. I'm like, okay, that's not me. Like there's something wrong. That person's they're confused, like they're a bit lost, and that's okay. Like that's okay if they're lost, but I recognize that I'm not trying to engage with that energy, right? They have to raise to my energy. They have to raise up to where I am. I'm producing good energy, and I look at it like that person wants to be a part of what I'm doing. They want to be a part of my party, but they don't know how, right? Because their energy's so low and it's so stuck, and they probably spend a lot of their time gossiping, talking shit about people, being mean to people, not working on themselves, not meditating, not investing in themselves, and they don't know how, right, to connect at a higher level. So when they see me, if I come out and I've been meditating for an hour a day, I've been on here doing live streams, I've been hanging out with high quality people, conversing with like-minded people, and then I'm shooting off like hilarious shit, like high energy shit, and say someone sees that and they don't really understand, but they still want a piece of it. They still want to get engaged. A lot of time, the only way they know how to engage is through negativity, right? And they're like, yeah, I'm like, you're dumb and stuff. And they don't know how to get involved because they can't, because they're not attracted, right? I'm not really finding them all that attractive because they're not matching my vibration. They're not matching my energy. And I'm kind of just like I want them to have a high energy. I would love for them to have it, right? And I wouldn't even mind investing in them a little bit if I thought it would help them. But a lot of times what happens with these people is they're so low energy that they're just kind of like a pit, right? They're just like an empty hole. And you kind of can't really engage with them too much, unfortunately. You have to just be like, well, I guess you're just not really feeling great tonight. Like, and I hope that you feel better later or whatever. And yeah, that's basically how it works. Like, I would say, and it's okay, you know, like people are where they are, and that's fine. And I just try to focus on the vibes I'm putting out and the energy I'm putting out, because again, we're doing it for its own hilarity, like its own, just the dealing with people. Yeah. Well, I do have opinions on that. I do have, yeah. When you got to edit them, yep. That's a good topic. Yep. My, generally speaking, and again, I want to just say this out, like, this is all part of my entire spectrum of my personality. Yeah, who treat you poorly? Yeah. Okay, so honestly, my opinion on that is fucking ruthlessness. Absolute ruthlessness. The nicest thing you can do for those people is immediately fucking eliminate them. Eliminate them. Whatever the cost. They're done. They're gone. It's totally, totally inappropriate for you to be associating with people who are all fucked up, and they keep leeching off your energy, and they keep poisoning you, they keep bringing negativity in your life. It's super fucked up for you to keep enabling them to do that. It's mean. You're being mean to them. So when people are around you and they're acting fucking stupid and their life sucks and they won't invest in themselves, they keep talking bullshit and gossip, they keep getting involved in stupid toxic relationships, if you keep allowing them around you and you keep being like, well, maybe he'll get it together someday. Oh, she just sometimes gets like that. And they never change. They never, ever change. So you have to be willing to absolutely tell them, hey, what you're doing is completely inappropriate. You're not helping me in life, and I'm not even helping you, right? Because you're all fucked up and you don't want to hear it. It's not worth anything for me to invest in you because you're like a bucket with a bunch of holes in it. And every time I pour water in your fucking bucket, it just streams right out. And it's inappropriate because I could use that. I could pour my water, I could pour my energy into someone else's bucket that doesn't have all kinds of holes in it. And they're actually going to benefit from it. They can drink the water and they can use the energy. So when I'm investing in you, who's full of holes, I'm really hurting other people, because I'm wasting my fucking time and energy with you. I could be investing it in other people who would be benefiting from this. It's fucking inappropriate for you to waste your valuable time and energy, your one life that you live, by some miracle you came to earth, and you're spending it fucking hanging around with degenerate idiots who have no interest in actually improving themselves. You have to just let them know it's done. We're done. And if you can't let them know, like straight to face, do it in your mind. Click, we're done. You might have to do it repeatedly. Done. Click. They come around again. Oh yeah, cool, that's great. Anyway, I have to go. Goodbye. And don't be worried about offending them. You're not offending them. You're being nice to them. The nicest thing you can do is just firm up the boundary. We're done with that. We're done. That's nice. It's mean if you let them keep coming around. Put it this way, what would happen, because it all goes back to being basically fucking cavemen, because that's all, our brains are still like that basically. We're really just still fucking living we're basically still living in the jungle in our minds for the most part. So put it this way, what if we were in a tribe? What if we had a tribe of people and we were hanging out and it was me, Agent Q, a bunch of other people. We had some other people at the campfire and they were cooking dinner and shit, and we had some kids around and all this type of stuff. Yeah? Well, what if we had one tribe member who was a fucking drunk idiot, and every time we asked him to do something, we said, hey, go guard the path, because we want to make sure no lions or tigers come in and eat the children, right? So can you go guard the path? And every time we send him out there, yeah, okay, I'll get to that in 1 second. And every time we send him to go guard the path, he fucks up. He ends up being drunk and passing out. So what if one time we send him to go guard the path and he passes out because he's drunk and a tiger comes in and eats one of the babies? Right? Look how mean that was. That was mean because we trusted him and we enabled him when he was a fucking idiot. And it hurt everyone. So you have to be very firm, right? Okay, so to your question, you have a challenge to judge people where they are. Yeah, I don't have a lot of those, thank goodness. Yeah, it's just not a good fit. Yeah, I hear you. So when it comes to like individual circumstances, right, of a person, you need to be willing to get specific about what. Yeah, it is on us. It is on us because we're running the tribe, right? We're in charge of the tribe. So we have to be very particular about the people that we allow to be part of the tribe and how we let them, how we let them in. Yeah. So they do, yes, they show us, yes. So that person in this circumstances where we're letting him guard the pathway so lions and tigers don't get in, it's up to us to ensure that he's a valuable person and that we can trust him. So you have to be willing to stipulate what a person is and is not able to get away with. So in that circumstance, I have to be willing to judge, yeah, who are you, right? Who is this person? Hey, have I seen you? Have I seen you before in the past? Have I asked you to do something and you didn't do it properly, right? Like I told you, hey, come meet me here at this time and you fucking didn't show up. That's an issue, right? Did I one time speak with you and you said that you were going to stop getting drunk all the time and doing fucking pills? But then I saw you again and you were still taking pills and you're fucking drunk again. Okay, these are two serious issues. And to me, you're not able to take accountability for yourself. If you just like drinking and like doing pills and you just accept that and that's just who you are and you admit it, maybe we have something to work with. But I need to be able to trust where you're at. So in your circumstance where you have someone you're wondering about, you need to ask yourself, like, what am I willing to accept from this person? Seriously, like write it down. You can even like fucking text me with it later if you think about it. Seriously, take some time, like take 10 minutes later today and write down. What am I willing to accept? No, fuck no, I would not have that guy guard my children. He can go out and hang out with the fucking lions and tigers and he'll be dead by the end of the day. That's how it works. Very brutal. Very brutal. And that's why we have to be very strict and very strong because our minds and our psyche and our organism that we are is all still geared to basically living in those tribes, living in the woods. And you have to be willing to make decisions about people. Like, motherfucker, you can't guard the shit. You can't guard the fucking pathway because if I put you on it, the lions and tigers could run in and eat the kids. And that's going to fuck my whole life up. Yeah, it's hardcore, man. It is hardcore. That's how it works, right? And so it's good though. That's what people want that. That's what people need. So you have to be willing to say, hey dude, you're all fucked up. You can't guard the path because what happens when the lions come in and eat my kids? That's going to suck. And my wife or my wives or my friends and everyone's going to be fucking pissed. And they're going to freak out and they could go crazy. They could start attacking me. I don't know. But it's not worth it. It's not worth the risk. Even the slightest risk, no. Yeah. Even the slightest risk. It's like, hey, why am I going to put that drunk idiot on the pathway when I have Agent Q here and he's proved repeatedly that he's committed to investing himself. He's in the tribe because he's committed. I value his opinion. I value him as part of the tribe. So if I put him on the pathway, I'm fucking confident that the shit's going to be guarded properly. This other drunk idiot, there's too much of a risk. You're not involved. Good luck to you. Find another tribe. And we move on because life's too short, right? There's no time for it because we've got other shit to do. We've got more valuable people to deal with. So we don't value with the people who are broken, unfortunately. You have to write down, hey, what am I willing to accept from this person? Right? What do I need to see from them to make me believe that I'd be willing to trust them guarding the pathway? Right? Yeah, exactly. They're either on the team, yeah, or they're not, basically. Like, you're either in the tribe, and that's great. Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, they have to, yeah. Yeah, they have to basically be, yeah, exactly. Yeah, they got it to guard the pathway to the kids. Yeah. You have to ask yourself, do I trust this person to guard the pathway into like my family and the kids and the old grandmothers and stuff, my life, yeah, my whole life, right? Because when you were a caveman and we were living in the jungle, that's your whole life there. I'm not sure if you've heard of Dunbar's numbers. It's kind of this scientific idea that we can only really keep track of about 150 to 200 people. That's what they kind of think in our brain, because that's the number of people that the tribes kind of like naturally came around, 150, 200 people. So that's your tribe, that's your life, right? And you can't afford to have some idiot guarding that shit. So you have to ask yourself, what do I need to see from this guy, for this example that you have in your life? Like, what do I need to see from this person to make me believe that I could trust them being at the pathway and guarding basically my whole family, my whole tribe, my whole life? What do I need to see from them? And how can I give them an opportunity to demonstrate that? And if they are able to demonstrate that, okay, then I'm willing to put a little bit of trust in them. But if they aren't capable of demonstrating that, then you have to write down, what am I willing to do? If they can't demonstrate my trust, if they can't win my trust, I can't really afford to have them around, because what's the point? They're not guarding the path. I can't put them I can't put them as guard. What the fuck? There's no point. I can't afford it. So you have to ask yourself, what am I willing to do? Are you willing to tell them you're just not in a position in your life right now to really be a part of my life? It's just not really going to happen. And maybe at another point we could, I could give you another opportunity to demonstrate if you've changed. But if you haven't, there's just not time for it, because I have a whole tribe here I've got to invest in. What if we were here in Agent Q, you said, oh, hey man, Luke, look, I know this guy and he's going to guard the path for us. And I said, well, okay, thank you, man. Good. I appreciate that. You're welcome. I'll do a few more minutes. I'll do 5 more minutes and we'll wrap it up, right? Just finish up this quick topic here. So you have to be willing to say, like, if you bring this guy to the tribe and you say, hey, Luke, man, I have this guy here and he's going to guard the path for us, right? You tell me that. And I say, okay, well, I believe in Agent Q, right? So I basically say, like, well, I believe in Agent Q. So he's bringing this guy to me saying that he's a valuable person and he's going to guard the path. Well, what happens when you bring him and he fucks up and he's a fucking idiot and he's not reliable? You got to think about, you're putting me at risk now, right? You're putting the whole tribe at risk. So you have to think in a larger picture. We're thinking of the whole tribe here. We're the leaders of the tribe, right? We're the leaders of this tribe. We're keeping shit together. We're keeping our shit together. No one else is fucking doing it. Who do you think's doing it? Politicians, fucking lawyers, doctors? No, they're all fucked up. They're looking for money and bullshit and validation. No, they're lost. So we're the ones doing it. It's us who's doing it. So you have to really think about it and be like, am I going to be able to bring this guy to the tribe and tell Luke, hey man, this guy is fucking legit and he can do the job? Cool. then that's a good dude. But if you're not comfortable doing that, if you're a little bit like, I don't know, this guy might fuck up, that could be a bit of a problem, right? Because you're putting yourself on the line. So if I come to the tribe and I say, man, I've got this guy Agent Q and he's legit and he's investing in himself, he's fucking meditating, he's down, he's getting it going. I feel comfortable where I can be like, yeah, okay, cool. Like, get this guy in here. Like, I think we can believe in this guy. And so that's the kind of tribe that we want. If you're willing to accept bullshit and weakness and fucking laziness and sloppiness, you're gonna get it. Gonna get that shit. If you're willing to accept it, you're gonna get it. And sometimes it's tough to cut the bottom level off. It's sometimes hard to cut the low end of our friendships or the low end of our behaviors. But you know what happens if you cut the low end off sometimes? You get it at the high end, right? Sometimes those low end relationships are keeping us down there, right? They're like dead weight and they keep us down there. And if you can cut them off, you'd be surprised that sometimes it'll give you access to higher end relationships. But if you keep them going down there, it's going to be hard to get to these high end relationships, right? So I would take a very hard look at this person. I would really write down what you are and are not willing to accept from them and be willing to sit down with them. Ha! Yeah, man, that's the shit, brother. I love it. Yeah, I would sit down and write it out, man. And maybe sit down with this person. Depending on if they're really close to you and you really care about them, it might be worth really sitting down with them and explaining to them how you feel. And if they really care about you, they'll embrace it. And they'll say, you're right, man. You're right. So basically, that's pretty much the lesson for today. I think that's all I got. I hope that I'm gonna wrap it up, brother. But thank you, Agent Q, for showing up, man. This was a good sesh, good valuable sesh. I hope everybody watching got something from it. And this is cool. I love how we're building this tribe, this energy, these vibes over the internet, via Instagram, via YouTube. I love it. Okay, everybody, thank you for showing up. Thank you for chilling. Thank you for all the messages and everything. And get your shit going. Do your meditation. I'm going to do my hour today. Agent Q, I know you did your 15 minutes. I love it. Keep it up, man. We're getting somewhere. We're growing. We're doing it. Okay, that's all for today. Peace out, everyone.